What's up, guys? It's Sebastian. I was just having a conversation with one of the appointment setters on the sales team I'm part of, and we had a real good chat. He's 18, out in Australia, super smart guy, definitely going to be going places. And I even shared with him that I'm a bit envious that he got started in this space at such a young age, whereas at 18, I had no clue. It took me years and years and years to make my first dollar on the internet, and he's already doing it. So, hats off to him. But we had an interesting conversation about a few different things, mainly just uncertainty about the future and trying to understand what moves to make and how to progress and so on and so forth. And the only advice I really shared with him that I could share with him is that no one can predict exactly how things are going to unfold. And I was very candid about the fact that having been a high ticket closer now for 3 years myself, there have been times where I was not doing so great, where I didn't even have an offer to work on. And then there's been other months where I was just killing it. I was barely having to work and I was clearing thousands and thousands of dollars. Sometimes I was even taking phone calls from my bed and I was closing deals before I even started my day. I shouldn't laugh because it's a bad habit. But the main point here is that you have to acknowledge the amount of risk that you're taking on when you jump into an industry or a line of work like this. Because the fact that you can earn a lot of money, a lot more than a regular person will at a 9 to 5, also means that there's a lot of there's a big chance that you're not going to make very much at all, and that you're going to encounter a lot of emotional ups and downs, a lot of inconsistency along the way. And I believe I made a video about this a few days ago. That's the price you pay. That's the price that you must acknowledge before you even get started. Because if you do this and you're 6 months in, you're a year in, and you start to complain that things aren't consistent, that you feel that it's unstable, and that you want out and you didn't sign up for this, well, you kind of did. You kind of did. And so that's what you have to be cognizant of. If you want stability, if you value getting the same kind of paycheck like clockwork every single week, or pardon me, every single month, and just not having some element of unpredictability like that, then maybe you should just take a regular job. Maybe you should take a position with a base salary and that stipulates you show up for certain hours. That's just reality. Because the path to making the big money, to really getting incredible results, if it was really that easy and formulaic, everybody would naturally do it. But it's not. That's why so few people actually end up making it. Not because it's super hard, but also because you you can't take the unpredictability, because you cannot handle so much up and down. At least most people can't. And so they just bow out. So if you're okay with that, then you can actually make it. And you want to hear a little secret? It's really not that bad, especially when you take advantage of the fact that you're earning money remotely. You can go to places that cost a lot less for you to live a good life. And then that way, you can be financially savvy. And when you get paid, you save a big chunk of that income. So when the lean months do come, and inevitably they do come, you're good. You're not in panic mode. And you're not in a position of desperation where you'll just take any kind of scraps that come your way. But instead, you're still very much in control. You're still in a position of power, and no one is going to manipulate you and take advantage of any desperation that might be showing through. So, that's a takeaway for today.